Hello and welcome back to the Outside the Box Podcast. It's episode 4 of your favourite Cardiff student football podcast. That's what I'll say anyway. YOLO doesn't stop us boys from clogging in early this morning, or this afternoon rather, but you can only expect so much of us really. James, how are you feeling?
I'm good, I'm feeling fine. How are you?
Yeah, it was a good night last night, wasn't it?
Indeed, yeah.
Yeah, very nice. Yeah, got a bit of football chat in as well, so that's always positive.
Exactly.
So yes, but we're back in front of your screens now, so that's all that matters today. Come on,
your ears.
And
your ears. Nice. On the screens and in your ears.
And in your ears, yes, or terrific dulcet tones. Yeah. But anyway, moving forward to talk about what we're going to be covering on today's show is Welsh Varsity 2024. We're going to talk about the football and that, because we are a football podcast at the end of the day, as much as there is plenty to talk about that way around. So we're going to talk about that first, and then we're going to talk about our Premier League playback, looking back at last weekend's fixtures and all the permutations at this business end of the season. We're going to talk about the Champions League as well, two big massive games, semi-finals this week. We watched the Real Madrid game, and then we were out for the PSG Dortmund one, so we didn't quite catch it, but we watched the highlights, and we're ready to talk about that as well. A little bit on the Championship as well. Leicester getting promoted, Ipswich nearly there with Kieran McKenna, congratulations to those sides. And then we got our little quiz at the end, our sort of Premier League quiz, sort of history quiz. But that's all coming up today on today's show. But I think we'll start with Varsity.
Yeah, so you were there. How was it?
I was there, you were not there. You only, like the big Wally you are, you only bought a rugby ticket, so you didn't get to go to Sketty Lane at Swansea Bay Sports Park to watch an absolutely my favourite event of the day personally, which was the football. So it finished 1-1. In normal time, and then obviously there has to be a winner. It's Varsity at the end of the day.
You can't sell a draw between Swansea and Cardiff.
So Cardiff managed to get the victory, 8-7 on penalties. The penalties just went on and on and on. I was stood at the side of the pitch filming. Terrific game, really. From start to finish, we had that red card for Liam Meyer on the 33rd minute, and it looks like.
What was the red card for?
The red card was for it was denial of a goal scoring opportunity. It was a fair red card, to be fair, but
brought him down for on goal.
Brought him down for on goal, and Cardiff I thought were really good up until that point.
What minute was that? 30th minute? 1 minute?
Yeah, 33rd, 33rd minute. They were really good up to that point, and they're really good after that. I think that just the intensity they came out with really impressed me. I mean, I've watched them a couple of times this season. I watched their last league game of the season, and they really impressed me, particularly in this one. I think they were up for the fight, and even when that red card happened, they sort of changed their system. They sort of sat behind the ball, but they never stopped that intensity, and they sort of kept going throughout. And even when that Swansea goal went in, they didn't capitulate. They managed to hold on to the penalties. Giles Basson with a brilliant captain's performance for them.
Dug in, and he led from the front. And Oliver Bouncel, I hope I've pronounced that correctly if you're watching. Superb on penalties. He was getting a lot of. I was at the side of the pitch filming it, and there was a load of Swansea fans giving him grief and stuff like that, and he was just laughing it all up. The atmosphere was amazing. Yeah, it was really like you had just fans just interspersed throughout the no fights. I thought there was going to be one, to be fair, behind me between the Swansea and Cardiff Ultras, but I think there was a gate separating them, and I don't think they were up for a fight, to be fair. It's probably who's your money on?
Ooh, I don't know. Swansea ones did look bigger, to be fair. They looked a wee bit bigger.
Rugby guys.
No, I think they were footballers. But yeah, they were. Yeah, they looked like they were up for a scrap if it had got to that. But yeah, a couple of pyros on the pitch. That's actually my first time I've ever seen a pyro on the pitch. Yeah, a couple of green pyros. So
like flares.
Yeah, flares. Yeah, no, they had to stop the game multiple times, and it was a cracking day for it as well. So it was just there was a sort of a festival atmosphere.
Manchester Derby.
Yeah, absolutely. It had echoes of the 2013 Manchester Derby where Rio Ferdinand got well, not quite that far, but you know what I mean. That's sort of
atmosphere, you know. But anyway, yeah. So as I say, Oliver Bouncel on the penalties, he managed to get Cardiff a win. It just seemed to go on forever and ever. Whenever Cardiff would miss, Swansea would miss, and vice versa.
8-7 on penalties.
8-7.
Yeah. So was that like everyone just scored, or until the end, or did the goal?
No. There was it was really, really back and forth. It was Swansea missing, then Cardiff missing, Swansea scoring, then Cardiff scoring. Swansea took first. They had that sort of psychological advantage, but they managed to. I think the goalkeeper was the real difference there. The Cardiff boys stepped up when they needed to step up, and you know there was a decent standard of penalties. The goalkeepers I thought were pretty good, but yeah, as I say, Oliver Bouncel was good, and he got them the win.
I presume there's extra time, right? Was there?
No extra time. Just straight to penalties of the Varsity. Yeah, no messing about with those boys. But yeah, congratulations to the boys on their victory. Congratulations. Clap for you. They also won the Western Tier 2 division, so that gives them promotion to the league above. So congratulations, there's big things to come. Yeah, they've had a good season, unbeaten in the league, so congratulations to them. We look forward to seeing them next year. The women lost their game on penalties. The women's football team lost their game on penalties. I had to head off to the stadium to get set up, so I wasn't fortunate enough to stick around for that one, but commiserations to them as well. But yeah, that was Varsity 2024. Brilliant day. I really enjoyed it, and I really enjoyed the football in particular. It was very good. And shout outs to the boys and to the girls. Moving on though, we've got the Premier League playback.
As good as Varsity.
The standard. Well, let's be honest.
Walls.
Yeah, well, you're biased though, aren't you? At the end of the day, but the Premier League. We'll go on to our Premier League playback, James. A couple of big fixtures this weekend. We had the North London derby. Arsenal getting the victory. What do you make of that game?
Yeah, I mean, Arsenal went 3-0 ahead, didn't they? They looked to be cruising. Spurs really struggling from corners, weren't they? I think was it 2 goals from corners? I think it was.
Yeah, it was. Yeah.
Even then, Havertz just goes.
Did you see Ben White's trying to undo Vicario's gloves? He was at it with the hosiery, as we like to say.
He's always trying to mess around with the goalie in the box.
Benny Blanco, I think his nickname is. That's
great fake tan.
Great fake tan. Yeah, so he wouldn't look out of place in the cast of Benidorm. No. Well, what do you make of the game in terms of this sort of tactical battle? Arteta sort of came out on top, didn't he?
Yeah, I mean, in the first half, Arsenal didn't give him a sniff, did they? You could really see they were just shutting every Spurs attack down, loads of men around the ball. But I think even Gary Neville and we were saying in the commentary, Arsenal weren't incredible in this first half. They just were doing the job on them, weren't they? Yeah,
they just did a professional job, and I think Arsenal have got better and better at that. And if it wasn't for Man City being Man City and just being an absolute juggernaut, Arsenal would have a Premier League title. They maybe even have 2.
Yeah,
because they're a good side. They're a really, really good side. It's just they can't quite keep up with that Man City level of consistency, in my opinion. It's not over yet, but Man City have a game on them, and you'd imagine they'll see out the season and win the league.
I think we're comparing it to Arsenal from last season. Whatever happens now, you can't say Arsenal bottled it. No. Arsenal certainly did bottle it last season.
Oh, absolutely.
They're at the end, and they've lost 3 games. Just poor teams.
Yeah. Bukayo Saka again.
With 3 games from the end of the season, they're still in the hunt. I don't think you could say they're bottling it. And the way, I know they let Spurs get back into it, but last season, do Arsenal see that out? Probably not.
Probably not, no. I mean, they had a couple of rocky games. I remember one against West Ham, which was the real turning point in the league.
Yeah,
Southampton as well, yeah. They've not really, I mean, that Villa game was... That was tough on them, and they probably sort of did they did sort of lose that one there, and that might cost them the league in the end. But I think for Arsenal, when you're looking at it, then there's Champions League quarter-finalists. You know, they have progressed from last season. You know, they have been better. They've stayed in the fight longer than they did last year. And I think just with even more recruitment, maybe bringing in I always think with Arsenal, do they need a proper striker, a proper Haaland? You know, is that what they're missing? Do you think?
I mean, their defence has been solid this season. I know they let Spurs get back into it, but defensively they've been very good. I think that's maybe what they're missing. But Havertz, he scored recently, hasn't he? So that's to see.
Yeah.
I think
in terms of Spurs,
I thought their defending on the goals were awful. I thought their goal from Saka, like for about an age, Havertz had the ball on over the top, no one marking him. He gets, and you know Saka's going to cut in on his left foot, and Ben Davies kind of just dropped off of it. He's got to get tight to him, and then on the corners as well.
Yeah, well, I was talking to a good listener of the show, one of our fans, Mark Baston. Shout out, Mark. I know you're listening. I know you're listening. And we were basically agreed that Tottenham, it's a good season for Tottenham. Like, whatever you say, because at the start of the season, I was talking to another Spurs fan. One of the guys that works in my dad's office, and he was saying that. Shout out Philip Wilson.
Northern Irish Spurs fan?
Northern Irish Spurs fan. Shout out Philip Wilson.
How does that come about?
I don't know. Don't question it, Fair play to him. I do have a soft spot for Spurs, to be fair. And what I was going to say is the expectation, from what I can see with Spurs fans, and, sort of universally, in my opinion and many others, I don't think you can say that Spurs have you could say that they've bottled it, but
they've just been up and down all season.
They've been up and down, but they've been mostly up, and I think the trajectory is going in the right direction for them. They've got Ange Postecoglou. I think he's the right man for them going forward. I think if they bring in a few more players, just up the quality. Really, it's much the same as many other sides. They just need to up that quality, and they will get in the Champions League fight next season, most certainly. And I think they could maybe potentially get it next season, but I think, looking at the table now, I think Villa Tottenham have 2 games in hand on them, so it's going to be tight, but I think maybe Villa might say out. Yeah, Tottenham have Chelsea coming up tonight, 7:30. I started playing Man City, and then they have Liverpool at Anfield. Hurt Liverpool team. A hurt Liverpool team as well. So, I can't quite see them doing it. I think they will just about fall short. With
they'll finish fifth.
Villa having that buffer of 7 points at the minute. But at the end of the day, as conversations I've had, I think that's as best as you could have hoped for this season. I think Champions League was a dream for them, and not to be condescending or anything like that, but the expectations.
Maybe they would have hoped for a bit more.
Hoped
for a bit more of a cup run or something.
Yeah, well, that's the thing with Spurs. They haven't won a trophy
since 2009.
2008, I think it was League Cup against Chelsea, if my memory serves. I think that was, how many years ago was that now? 16 years. I think that's the next thing. They need to put all their that was the thing with Pochettino. They were always egging him on to try and win the FA Cup and League Cup, and he seemed to make some really weird
even got to a Champions League final.
He did, but he seemed to make quite strange team selections in cup competitions, and Spurs fans didn't really understand it. So I wonder how Postecoglou will look at those competitions.
In terms of Postecoglou, I think in interviews he might be the best manager I've ever seen. For Spurs, he's so good in interviews. He'll get asked a kind of, maybe not a stupid question, but a question that's trying to get some bait out of him to say something, but he'll just kind of shut it down I don't know, in a nice way. And he seems to be able to deal with a big club interviews very well. I mean, he seems like a good manager tactically as well, but in terms of being at a big club in interviews, he seems to handle that quite well, I think.
Absolutely. Yeah, no, I think he's a really good personality.
Loves to say mate. He really does love to say the word mate. Yeah. But that works.
It's simple, mate. No, he did a fantastic job at Celtic, and Celtic have certainly missed him this season, despite looking like they're going to win that league as well. But I think he is certainly the right man to take them forward. In terms of other teams,
do we move on to the relegation battle, maybe?
Yeah, maybe City march on. Just to touch on them, they march on 2-0 victory against Forest. United have stagnated again against Burnley 1-1. You just want the season to end if you're a United fan, which I am. So I want the season.
You watched the United game?
I watched the highlights, and I think from what I've heard, it was just a typical United home performance this season, where you sort of just struggle to get into the flow of things, open at the back, struggling to take your chances up front, and
we had a lot of opportunities. Like, I've watched the highlights quite a bit, and should have had a penalty or two, but we didn't. And we can't really when you're playing Burnley at home, you need to beat them no matter how many penalties you should have got or not. There's no excuse for that, in my opinion. So
I think there's something to be said, like, you're not finishing anywhere in particular. You're kind of stuck where you are. Maybe there's a bit of a lack of motivation, but when you're playing for United, and
there should never be a lack of motivation.
They're in a troubled situation. They need that win still. In terms of Burnley, they've gone a bit under the radar. They're still with an outside chance of staying up. Well, not an outside chance, I'd say they're still.
Well, Luton lost to Wolves, didn't they? So
it was pretty comfortable. I was at the game.
You were at the game.
Yeah, it was pretty comfortable for us for most of the game. But like how we normally are, we kind of let them into it. We could have gone 3-0, 4-0, but kind of let them into it with a kind of corner goal, Morris, and then we just saw it out in the end. But on Wolves, we had Wang and Kuna back on the pitch together. That's the first time they played together before Christmas, I think, and that definitely helped us like see the win for them.
Are you glad that Gary O'Neill's not going Liverpool now? It looks like Arnold Slot will be taking that position.
They got Hank from Breaking Bad, haven't they?
Yeah. I haven't actually watched. Everybody keeps telling me to watch that. I haven't quite watched it yet, but yeah. You've got good old Hank from Breaking Bad, so there'll be a lot of memes on that next season for sure.
I hope he does well, or else he will literally just be Hank from Breaking Bad. He already is, and he hasn't even managed the game.
Yeah, no, well, that would be both Manchester United and Liverpool managers, because you're what's the main
Walter White.
Yeah. Ten Hag's Walter White, isn't he?
You just know when Liverpool play Man United.
We're just gonna have the whole cast of Breaking Bad in the Premier League now. We'll find a Jesse Owen, isn't it? Jesse Pinkman lookalike as well.
Gary O'Neill, that could be.
Yeah. He doesn't look unlike him, to be fair. But in terms of that relegation battle, it's really tight down there. Brentford are obviously safe. Everton are safe as well. They've made themselves safe now. I think Brentford are they mathematically safe? I don't think they can get caught. I think they're fine. With 3 games to go, 10-point buffer. That's okay. But who do you think is going to go? Obviously, Sheffield United get relegated. Get battered up at Newcastle, and Luton, Burnley, Forest. It seems to be between those 3 sides. There's 2 points split in them. Yeah,
2 points between Burnley and Forest, Luton in between. But I think it might come down to that. We got, I think, Burnley versus Forest last game of the season. It could come down to that. Yeah. And depending on what Luton do as well. I mean,
Luton have got Everton this weekend, so they could get a victory there. Everton are safe, so you know.
Is it at Everton?
No, it's at Luton.
So that's a huge game for them.
That's a huge game for them. They need to win that. Forest have Sheffield, so they should be winning that really. And who else do we have? Burnley have Newcastle at home, so that's quite a tough game for them. Yeah. Game week 37.
So you would think Forest win that, wouldn't you?
Luton have got West Ham away. Let's see. Burnley have Tottenham away, and Forest have Chelsea at home. And then, as you say, in the last game week, you have Burnley and Forest going head to head, and then Luton have Fulham. I think out of all those sides there, just looking at it briefly, I think Luton have the best run in.
Yeah.
Because they don't have to play any of the other sides. And
but you kind of want to play the other side.
Get 2 homes. Like, I suppose you do, but at the same time, it sort of takes away the
if you lose
absolutely mammoth pressure of a relegation 6-pointer. So
it's a 9-pointer at this point.
9-pointer, yeah. So who do you see going down there? What 2 sides do you see going over Sheffield?
It's a big game for Luton against Everton. I think if it depends on what happens there, I think Forest will beat Sheffield. Is it at Sheffield or is it?
It is at Sheffield. Yeah.
I still think they'll beat them, and then depends if Luton also get the win against Everton, then I think Burnley are down. I'd say Burnley are probably going to go down.
Yeah.
But it could be.
I would say Burnley, and I'm actually going to say Forest are going to go down. I think. I'd like Luton to stay up.
Yeah, they're an entertaining team, aren't they?
And they're a small team. But is there? I'm not sure if the points deduction for Forest is that like confirmed confirm, because I know they had appealed it.
They've appealed it, and I think there's going to be an announcement. I think they said this week, so it might be in a few days.
Well, that would be huge. I mean, that would basically decide it.
I don't think they'll get all points back. They've got deducted 4. They might get 2 or 3 back, or even
that's
more.
huge.
But that's still massive. Yeah.
And when it's going down to that level,
if that happens, I think they'll probably be alright.
Yeah, they probably should be fine. But anyway, that was our Premier League roundup. We'll move on to our Champions League, or actually no, we'll move on to our preview. Just to touch briefly. Do you think Spurs can make a late charge for top 4 tonight? At the weekend.
Who have they got? As in Chelsea tonight?
Chelsea tonight, yeah. Just preview that one because it's today's game.
I think Chelsea might win that one. I think probably be quite close. They normally have quite good games.
Yeah.
Quite feisty games as well.
All of Stamford Bridge.
Yeah,
I could forget.
Yeah,
I think
Spurs probably see that one over, but I don't think it'll be enough for them to catch the other.
Fair enough. In terms of Championship, we've seen Leicester promoted.
Yeah.
We see Ipswich nearly promoted. They're 3 points ahead of Leeds with 1 game to go, and they've got a points difference on them as well, I think. So
before we talk about Ipswich, I think we should touch on Leicester and Jamie Vardy. What a football legend!
Yeah, no,
he's
been a Leicester legend, and indeed an English football legend. His story is incredibly inspiring.
37, still banging them in the Championship.
Yeah, I know.
I'd like to see him back in the Premier. Well, I think he will be.
He will be, absolutely.
I don't think he'll be starting, will he?
No, I don't think he's got I don't think he's quite at that sort of level of.
And fair play for him to stick in with Leicester his whole not his whole career, but since they won that Premier League title,
because he could have gone to Arsenal.
He's won the Premier League with Leicester. He's won the FA Cup. Fair play to him, and now he's won the Championship again.
Yeah, absolutely. He's been a great servant for them, and it looks like
Premier League corner flags need to watch out.
A lot of them, they do indeed. Yeah, who could forget when he did that at Sheffield a couple of years ago? I think Leicester they're looking good for next season. They had a couple of Premier League standard players like Harry Winks, Didi, Dewsbury Hall, Vout Fass, Premier League quality players that stayed with them. So I think that's gonna sort of give them sort of a boost anyway, despite the amount of players they're probably gonna bring in the summer. But Ipswich look good to go up as well. Kieran McKenna's done a fantastic job there. He's a former Manchester United assistant coach, so I'm very happy to see him do well. He's actually a Northern Ireland resident as well. He's from Carmark, so there we go.
I think Ipswich deserve to go. I think they've been the most out of Leeds and themselves. I think they've been more consistent. Leeds have been up there with Leicester at certain points.
That sort of touches up on the Championship there. A couple of sides looking.
Birmingham City.
It might be going down there. Rotherham are far down there. They're definitely getting relegated, and Huddersfield as well.
I think Birmingham City. I think if they do go down, that's a deserve at the start of the season. Doing quite well. They bought. I think they were 6th or 7th. Then bought Rooney in, didn't they? And then after that, it all went downhill. But they've done that a few times now, Birmingham, over the years. They've sat their manager when they're doing okay, when they're on the up, and then they've just capitulated.
It just seems like it's not run very well, in my opinion. But
Tom Brady, co-chairman, I think.
Tom, you need to get it sorted.
Yeah.
You get it sorted, fella. But yeah, that was our Championship roundup there.
The Champions League now?
Champions League now. Yes, 2 games this week. Bayern Madrid was the first game. Bayern Munich, Real Madrid. What did you make of that game? We both watched it. Yeah,
it was a good game, I thought. I think Bayern probably the better team slightly, but Real Madrid have the aura, they have the vibes. I think probably
they have the quality.
Yeah,
that's what they have.
Kroos was very good at that game. Vinicius was very good.
Splitting pass.
Yeah.
Turned Kim Min-jae inside out, and then Vinicius Jr. with the double. I was quite impressed with Bayern's ability to recover in that game, because usually when we see Real Madrid do that to sides in Europe, they just sort of, the game sort of just drifts out, and Real Madrid hold on. But they managed to get back into it. Terrific goal from Leroy Sané. I mean, it was Robin-esque, really, wasn't it?
Yeah, he's a very good player, Leroy Sané, I think.
Harry Kane with that penalty.
Yeah.
Jude Bellingham trying to put him off. What do you think of that situation? I had no idea what he said to him, but he said something.
Yeah, I think he said, "Oh, you're going left" or something like that, trying to put him off. But
it's alright. Am I still going here? Yeah, I'm still going. Sorry, I thought I'd pressed.
That's just some weird sound, I think.
No, but I thought I'd pressed the button here. But anyway. Sorry.
Yeah, people talk about Bellingham as well. I think Vinicius probably deserves. I mean, he's world class. I think everyone knows that. But Bellingham's got that Ballon d'Or hype behind him.
Yeah, he does.
More than Vinicius does.
I think he does because he's the new kid on the block, isn't he?
Yeah.
And
he's just the guy, isn't he?
I think we talked about it in the game. As key as Bellingham is to contributing goals and assists to that team, I think Vinicius is even more important to just how he stretches defences.
Yeah.
Like he's such a threat. His finishing's terrific. I mean, I think we've seen that he's got double figures in goals and assists over the last 3 seasons, like 20 plus goals each season, and he's been a real key to their success over the last couple of years. Obviously, they've sort of wrapped up the La Liga and they're looking to wrap up the Champions League now. Do you think they can do it in the second leg?
Yeah, I was just on Vinicius. I think the reason he maybe hasn't been talked about as much as Bellingham is because he's not hitting these, like, he might be hitting 20 goals in all competitions, but in the league he's got 13 goals, 5 assists, which is good, but it's not like Mbappe kind of like goal scoring level, is it? But I think he's more of like a winger than Mbappe, isn't he? So he sticks to the wings, and Bellingham's been in that centre and got the goal scorer.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think
in terms of the second leg,
I think Real Madrid, it's tight, isn't it? It's a hard one to call, actually.
I think Real Madrid would just about do it because I just think they have this noise. And as I said with Bayern Munich before, as much as they did impress me on Tuesday night, I've seen them against Man United. I've seen them concede 3 goals at home to Manchester United, and from that I can just say that I don't think they quite have enough to win the Champions League.
I'm going to go Bayern because I did think they were slightly better team, but I think
when it comes to the Bernabeu, that, as you speak about that aura, Real Madrid, you watch Real Madrid play football and they're not a footballing side like Manchester City, as we say, or
they pick their moments,
but
they pick them very well.
They pick them incredibly well, exactly what you say. But yeah, I personally would pick Madrid in that one, but we'll agree to disagree on that one.
I think it could go either way, but
who's the key man for that game? Vinicius
Kane, Vinicius, and
Kane
Bellingham.
doesn't seem to have. He wasn't that involved in the game.
He had a few chances.
Yeah, a couple of chances. Yeah. I think the 2 wingers for Bayern Munich are really key for them. In that second leg, Musiala and Leroy Sané. Musiala won the penalty, and Sané obviously scored the first goal, so that's a huge game.
I think we saw it in the game as well, but I think Dyer and Kim at the back, I think they can be got like Kim gave away a penalty.
You could get that.
So we saw it. Cruz carved right straight through them centre, and then they with that pass. So yeah, defensively, have they got it? I don't know. It's very nicely poised for the second leg.
Absolutely,
it'll be a good game.
I think Madrid will just about do it. But moving on to the second one, we had Dortmund PSG, but neither of us were able to watch this game. But we watched the highlights, of course, when we got back straight ahead and straight in and watched the highlights on YouTube, of course. That's what we do here on the Outside the Box podcast. What did you make of what you saw from this?
Yeah, it seemed like Dortmund had a very good game.
Jadon Sancho had a very good game.
Yeah, completed 11 dribbles in the game, the most by a Champions League player.
Yeah, we discussed this before the show. We were like, what's going on with, why is he able to do this at Dortmund but not at Manchester United? You had a theory, didn't you?
I don't know, I mean, the fact he can do it in the semi-final of the Champions League, it's not like he's doing a lesser level. It's just,
I think Alessandro Del Piero, I think it was, said that if he can do that at Champions League semi-final level, then he should return to United and do it. But I don't know.
Maybe it's the system at United, probably. I don't know.
It could be a number of things at United. I don't think he's covered himself in I think like many situations with a player at Manchester United and Manchester United, both sides are to blame. Like Paul Pogba with Manchester United. Manchester United were not in a good setup with Paul Pogba there, and Paul Pogba didn't cover himself in glory by the way he performed at times. So I think it's much the same with Sancho, where the system's not set up there for him to succeed, but at the same time he hasn't shown enough, in my opinion.
It's just crazy because at United, he didn't seem to have that confidence to take players on. Like last night, 11 dribbles completed. He was taking.
Well, it's just given him.
Against PSG.
It's given. He feels comfortable at Dortmund, and it's given him that sort of air of invincibility where I know I have a place in this team, and I know that I can. I know these players, and I'm comfortable here. There's a lot to be said about that compared to the pressure of playing for Manchester United Football Club. Dortmund's not nearly
as well. Had a good game, so.
Yeah. No, really, I always thought he was a solid player. So he was Fulkrug, got the winner in that game.
Yeah, good goal.
Yeah. What do you make of his sort of performances?
Yeah, it seemed like he had a good game. I mean, I didn't really know who he was. Really, I think he's one of those Bundesliga journeymen, isn't he? Really, he look at who he's played for. He played for.
I think that was a cracking finish there.
Yeah, it was a really good finish.
They took their chances, Dortmund. I think it was sort of the game ebbed and flowed by from what I saw of it. Mbappe hit the post. Hakimi hit the post shortly after. And I honestly think in the second leg they will have him. That's part of it. In my opinion, I think Dortmund are a good side. They're an admirable side. They play good football, and they've had a fantastic journey in the Champions League this year. But I just think PSG have that quality with Hakimi and Mbappe and Vitinha.
I think
and Dembele, of course.
Yeah, I think in the second leg, if Dortmund are going to get through, I think Hummels will be key. That experience at the back, because I don't think they ain't got the quality to go punch to punch with PSG at PSG's players. So maybe just kind of more defensive performance would see them through. But yeah, I tend to agree. I think Mbappe and PSG's attack probably just have enough. Might go to extra time. Might get a goal and go to extra time. But yeah, I think they'll just have enough next week.
Yeah, I certainly think so, and that would set us up for an interesting final. Well, whatever teams go through, really. It's quite an interesting setup of teams at different stages in their journeys and as teams. But yeah, that was our Champions League roundup. So shall we move on to our final bit of the show, which is our Premier League quiz, James?
Yeah.
Do you want to go first here? Ladies first, as they say. Sorry,
all right,
that's per from even me.
Right, so let me note down how many. I'll note it down on my phone actually. How many you get right?
Okay, that's all right. That's okay.
So in the 1992-93 season, Premier League season, which club finished third? This was the first ever Premier League season. Which club finished third with a negative goal difference as well? They had.
I feel like Aston Villa.
It's a multiple choice one if you want to make it that. So
no, we're not doing that because mine aren't multiple choice. So,
okay.
So I think Leeds were good in that time. I know United won the league that season. That was
not someone you'd expect.
That was the first season of the Premier League, but I'm thinking Aston Villa, but I also sort of think Aston Villa were they second place in that league. You say it's a strange team.
Yeah, it's not one you probably expect.
Blackburn.
No, it was Norwich.
Norwich?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, they had a -4 goal difference and they finished third. Yeah. So, another question. 94-95 season, Manchester United did not win the league, but their home record is impressive. How many goals did they concede in their 21 games at Old Trafford? So, I will do multiple choice here. 1, 4, 7, or 11. This is at home.
Oh, at home.
Yeah, 21 games.
I'm gonna go.
So 1, 4, 7, or 11.
11.
4. Only 4 goals.
4 goals?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
That is very impressive.
Okay.
That's 2 down.
In the 1998-99 season, David Ginola was voted PFA Footballer of the Year. Where did Tottenham finish in that season? 98-99.
98-99. They didn't finish top 4, I don't think, because I don't remember them in Champions League.
5th. 11th.
11?
Yeah. Yeah.
These are tough questions.
I know. Okay.
Alright, that's just my thing.
Third question, is it? Yeah. No, fourth question. 2 clubs avoided defeat to Arsenal in the Invincible season: Manchester United and who? Chelsea, Newcastle, Portsmouth.
No, you don't need to give me to. Oh, it doesn't matter.
Sorry,
what was the question again?
2 clubs avoided defeat in the Arsenal Invincible season: Manchester United and...
Avoided defeat.
So they drawed.
With Arsenal?
Yeah.
So there's 2 sides drew with Arsenal.
Yeah.
In the Invincible season. It was more than that, was it not?
I don't know.
It was more. They had like 11 draws. Did they not?
I don't know. But
no, they did. Like, I remember them having 11 draws, right? So you're asking me for the second team that drew with them. So you have Man United and what was Portsmouth?
Yeah.
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 Okay.
1-1 draw with Arsenal, home and away.
Okay. Yeah. No, I remember that being a thing that was brought up against the Invincibles argument being the best team in the Premier League ever. Hang on. Question 5, isn't it?
Yeah. 2005-06 season. Against which club did Alan Shearer score his last Premier League goal? This is April 2006.
I have no idea, but I'm going to say Middlesbrough because I got a feeling it's Middlesbrough.
Sunderland. So against...
There we go. Similar colours, you see. Yeah, I knew it was in there somewhere.
What was it? Richard Dunn received, in 2008-2009, Richard Dunn received the 8th red card of his Premier League career in January 2009. Which other 2 players who have also been sent off 8 times share the record for the most red cards in Premier League history? Joey Barton and Lee Cattermole, John Terry and Roy Keane, Patrick Vieira and Duncan Ferguson, or Vinnie Jones and Martin Keown. So these are 2 other players with 8 red cards.
What was the...
Joey Barton and Lee Cattermole, Terry and Roy Keane, Vieira and Duncan Ferguson, or Vinnie Jones and Martin Keown.
That's a lot of people.
There's two of those.
Yeah, 2 of those, I know. I'm going to go with Martin Keown and Vinnie Jones.
No, it's Vieira and Duncan Ferguson.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I didn't think Duncan Ferguson as a striker would get that many red cards, but I suppose he was quite an aggressive player.
11-12, Manchester City pipped Man United on goal difference to win their first Premier League title. How many points did both clubs win? So how many points did they have? Obviously, went to City on goal difference.
So they both, yeah. So how many points? Let me see. Ooh, I'm saying mid-80s, something like 86.
Close, 89.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's close.
Liverpool in 13-14, Liverpool scored a record number of away goals this season. How many goals did they score in their 19 away games? 38, 44, 48, or 54?
In away games this season?
19 away games in
last season, you mean?
No, in 13-14 season.
Oh, 13-14.
Yeah. Season where they came.
48.
That is correct.
Oh, there we go. Okay. This is a very hard quiz.
Yeah.
Very hard quiz.
Sadio Mane scored the quickest hat-trick in Premier League history. How long did it take him to score the 3 goals for Southampton?
5 minutes and 11 seconds.
2 minutes and 56 seconds. How many questions is that now?
I don't know, you're the quiz
Oh,
master.
sorry. 1, 2, 3, 4,
I'm wondering what system is going on behind this computer here, because it's not...
7,
the Wi-Fi must be a wee bit...
8, 9. 9 questions, so you got 1 more.
Okay. Are they not just like all on the list there? Or like?
We've got a few to pick from. I want to pick a good question.
Okay, right.
In 1920, Liverpool set a new record by winning 24 straight home games. Which club ended that run with a 1-1 draw at Anfield in July? Do you want the options?
Sorry, say this question again.
So Liverpool set a new record. Yeah, 1-1 draw. It ended their 24 winning streak at Anfield. In
recent
July. In 2020 July.
Why were they playing in July? Oh yes, because it's the it's the. Ooh, no, I don't want. I'm gonna.
Yeah.
I don't need the options. I'm gonna get this. I think Fulham beat them.
So your final answer?
No idea. Oh, honestly.
It's not like a
Is it
good team. It's not like.
Yeah, I know they were struggling a wee bit that time. So that was the season they won the league, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. What was it? Leicester.
Burnley. Yeah.
Oh yeah, that was Sean Dyche.
Yeah. So how many did you got right there? I think you got 3, did you?
2, I think it was.
2. That was a tough quiz.
You were supposed to be keeping score.
No, yeah. You got,
Let's see.
I think you got 3.
Okay, we'll say I got 3 just for the benefit of the doubt.
Yeah.
But that was on to James. I've got a couple of questions for you, but they're all on the same slide here. So first question is, who scored Manchester United's first goal following the death of George Best?
So what year was that? George Best death?
George Best died in 2005.
Okay.
It's a bit of a dark one to start on.
2005. So what? Just who scored for United?
Yeah,
the
who
next game?
scored the first goal following?
So it's going to be like Rooney or Ronaldo maybe. Go with Rooney.
Correct.
Yeah.
Milan Baros first played in the Premiership for which club?
Recognise that name. I don't know why I'm thinking Fulham or something like that. Why am I thinking Fulham?
Liverpool.
I wonder if he played for Fulham. I'd recognise that name made me think Fulham straight away.
Yeah, I suppose so. Yeah. Which club came out on top in the 2014-15 Premiership title?
14-15. So that would have been Chelsea. No, I think. So Leicester won at 15-16. I wasn't sure if it was Chelsea. Did you say 13-14 or 14-15?
14-15.
Yeah, so City won it at 13-4 at Chelsea.
Yes, you're correct, yeah. Charlton, Man United, Spurs and West Ham. Which club has Teddy Sheringham not played for out of those 4 clubs? Charlton, Man United, Spurs and West Ham.
Charlton.
Correct.
Yeah. It's 3 right, I think. 3 out of 4, yeah.
3 out of 4, doing well. Who was the first footballer to win the Premier League with 2 different clubs? Or sorry, this question's incorrect. Who's the first player to win? I'm gonna rephrase the question because I've looked at it, and the player that has won this Premier League with 2 different clubs won it before the Premier League era and then won it in the Premier League era. Who was the first? I'm gonna rephrase it so it's correct because I've caught the quiz masters out here. Who was the first footballer to win the league twice in 1990s?
Yeah, I was thinking when you said that, I was thinking Kante because he won it with the Leicester and Chelsea. So in the
it was the first footballer to win it, sort of
division and
post 1990, we'll say, rather than Premier League.
I'm thinking like a United player maybe or something. That's tough though. I'm not sure. I think when Cantona started playing, but I think say Cantona.
That's correct.
Really?
That's correct. Yeah, he won it with Leeds before he came to United. Yeah. Very, very impressive man. Which country does Boden's super shot stopper? What's the words here? Yassi Jääskeläinen play for?
Finland.
Incorrect. Iceland.
Is it?
Yeah. It's Iceland.
I swear he's Finnish.
Along with Burnley and QPR, who else was relegated from the Premier League in 2014-15?
Burnley, QPR. Right, they might instantly go into like Hull or Norwich, but I'm not sure which one. I'm going to go Hull.
That's correct.
Oh.
Yeah. That's 5 out of 7, James.
Wow.
Yeah, you've won this by a landslide.
I think some of mine were harder, but some of these were.
Yeah, you're doing quite well, to be fair. Which Dean? What does that even mean? Which
Quizmasters again. What are they doing?
What are they saying? I'm going to swap this one out because I have no idea what that means. Which club did David Moyes manage before going to Everton?
Ooh. Preston, was it?
It was? How do you know that?
I don't know. I just remember hearing it or seeing it somewhere.
6 out of 8, James. Very good. 2 more questions here. Joe Cole played for which club during their relegation season?
West Ham.
Chelsea, it says.
What? Joe Cole played for which?
I don't know if that's correct.
Chelsea have never been relegated, so that doesn't make sense.
Chelsea have been relegated, but
not in the Premier League.
Let me fact check this.
Joe Cole played in like 2000s.
Yes, I know. That's incorrect.
Unless we're talking a different Joe Cole.
I do apologise. The website I got these questions from is not very good. No offence.
We do normally make up our own questions.
Yeah, we just did it for time.
Some of them
time limits today. Right, scratch that question. We got 2 more. At which club did Richard Wright play in the Premier League?
Richard Wright. That's a name I have never heard.
What's the name?
What?
You're already winning by 3.
What club does Richard Wright sound like he plays for?
I don't know. That's your question.
Spurs.
No. Ipswich. Okay,
yeah.
so that's 6 out of 9. And then the last one, which Fulham player donned a Zorro mask after scoring?
A Zorro mask?
Yeah, there's
like a Mexican?
Yeah, something like that.
Raul Jimenez?
No, it was Facundo Sava.
Oh.
Yeah.
I was just thinking because Raul Jimenez did it for us, so I wasn't sure if he'd done it for Fulham since he moved.
Well, it would have been a good guess, to be fair, but I'm afraid that was incorrect, and that is 6 out of 10 for you, James. But as you do win this week's quiz, congratulations.
Thank you.
Congratulations. And that was episode 4 of the Outside the Box podcast. Thank you very much for listening. That has been us.
Pass the pod as well. Tell your friends.
Pass the pod. Tell your friends.
Think outside the box.
Think outside the box. Just remember that. If we can teach you anything, think outside the box. Thanks very much for listening, and we will see you next week when we're a little bit less stressed due to assignments and the like of that.
Yeah, and I think
we could have a couple of guests on next week as well. Actually, it could be a real big show.
I think in terms of going forward, we're looking to get a few more guests on. Maybe get like an EFL kind of special with some people we know, and we got the Euros coming up in the summer, so maybe do a whole Euros preview special, and then once the season's finished, like maybe a Premier League team this season, kind of.
So it's all in the works, so that's all coming up. So make sure, as James says, to pass the pod. Well, it's quite impressive alliteration from him. I didn't know he had that in his locker. But anyway, congratulations, James, on your quiz victory today, and thank you very much for watching the Outside the Box podcast, made in Xpress Radio Studios, episode 4. Thanks for listening. Bye bye.